The first method to hide the edges of your corrugated cardboard is what I call the edge notch method. And this one actually only works on corners when you've got two pieces of cardboard joining at a corner, but you don't want to show this corrugation. This is the one of the things you can do. And the first thing you need to do in this step is figure out how thick your cardboard is. Mine is about an eighth of an inch, and then an eighth of an inch. And then you measure out an eighth of an inch in on your cardboard. So I've already got that marked here on either side. We've got 1/8 of an inch. And then you connect those lines and you're going to notch out that part of the cardboard. Now, when we're cutting through the cardboard to notch it, we want to make sure we're only cutting through the top layer of paper and then also the corrugation in the middle, the fluting of the cardboard or the grain. And once we've cut through both of those, we can actually just peel this off. And now you have your notched edge in the cardboard, and this can be used to conceal the other edge of the cardboard, creating a really nice clean corner here where you can't see that corrugation. So again, I just measured, this is an eighth of an inch thick, so we created an eighth of an inch notch inside this other piece of cardboard, and then this paper is still here on the back to cover up that hole, so when we put them together, you can't even see the corner. There's just that tiny little line, but all the corrugation is hidden. This one is pretty straightforward, and it is not super difficult to make, and you don't have to do any sort of post-processing. Once you put it together, it's all the creation is going to be all nice and the corner totally concealed. It also, I want to mention, adds a little more support to your creation because you got that like double angle in there holding it together, and especially if you go back along the inside of a fold, this will always make your fold stronger if you add a bead of glue just like that. Now that's going to be way more durable with a lot stronger connection. And again, this only works on corners to hide the grain. But moving on, we have the next method is a 45-degree angle cut on the edge. So I got two pieces of cardboard here, and to do this 45, I literally just eyeballed it because I don't have any special tools. But I lined up my ruler, my steel ruler, right near the edge, and then took my knife at what felt like a 45-degree angle, maybe a little more, and then sliced down along it. It doesn't always come out perfectly, and I don't really like this method. The edge notch method is definitely what I would prefer over this, but that was just an example of how to cut it. I already have two edges right here, and when you join them together like this, you can hide that corner just like with the edge notch method, where now if I add glue along here, now I have a perfect corner where you can't see the corrugation, but it's a little more unpredictable and harder to make than the edge notch method, and it comes in handy sometimes, but definitely isn't my go-to. And if you make little mistakes in the angle, you can ruin your entire piece, and then they'll be visible here and it'll look worse than if you had just glued it together normally. So definitely go with the edge notch method if that seems up your alley. The thing with the 45-degree is that from the top it looks a little bit more professional with the pieces joining really nice. Other than that, edge notch is the way to go. If we're just meeting, my name is Eli Tennant and this is Maker Brain, and I love to help you access and implement your creativity through DIY projects as well as cardboard crafting tips videos just like this one. So if you're already getting some helpful value out of this video, then be sure to smash that like button and subscribe down below. You can also turn on notifications so that you stay up to date on the latest cardboard crafting advice. Method number 3 is really cool because it can easily be added after you finish making a model, and it can cover over mistakes, and it doesn't need to be used on a corner like the previous two methods. So with this one, all you need is a piece of paper, and then you once again want to know the width of your cardboard. This is going to be 1/8 of an inch, but what you can also do is just line it up along the edge of the cardboard and then use a pen or pencil to mark out the width that you're going to need. Now I can cut out this piece of paper. Now that I have this perfectly sized strip of paper, it can go right along here and be used to cover up the edge. The thing with this is that if you cut your paper slightly to the wrong size, then when you glue it on, it'll stick over the edges a little bit and not look super great. Like I said, I made mine a little big now, so it's got this little odd thing going over the side the whole way down. Fortunately, with this paper, you can actually trim that off afterwards. This same thing can happen with the edge notch method if you don't size your cardboard up properly, but it's a little easier to make this mistake with the paper. Now, the paper is good for fully open edges like this one, not as much with corners, because if I had a corner here glued like this, it would look pretty funny to have this weird strip of paper in the middle, and you'd want to go with an edge notch method. But if you've got an edge like this where it's fully open, you're definitely going to go with the paper, and the paper is really easy to add afterwards like I just did, so you could not worry about the dimensions of your model and having to like compensate for doing the edge notch method or the 45-degree method, because you can just build in regularly and then put paper on afterwards. But then again, on the corners, the paper can look kind of funny at the end. But it can cover up mistakes as well. If you have weird mistakes, the paper can cover that. This is just one of my favorite because it makes things look pretty professional without having to make it actually very much more complicated. Method number 4 is to use a spackle or filler on your cardboard to cover up the edges. And this can look super professional if you do it correctly, and is used by a lot of people who make cardboard helmets and props to make them look really smooth. And this can really cover up mistakes if you make mistakes and smooth things out. So what I have right here actually isn't a spackle filler. It's kind of like a drywall filler, but it works in the same way. And now you can just press it into the edge here and fill up all those gaps, so that when it dries, it's going to be pretty hard on there. It's not going to be incredibly durable, and then you'll paint it afterwards. But let me know in the comments below, do you ever finish your models in the sense that you paint them and fill up gaps like this, or do you tend to just leave them as plain cardboard? I read and reply to every comment, so if you leave your answer down there, I'll be sure to get back to you. And there is the edge fully covered and sealed up with the filler. And just remember that this can be applied to way more than just the edge of cardboard. And if I really wanted to finish up like maybe this edge notch method edge, I could take some of the filler and put it along here to cover up this little gap, so that when I paint it at the end, or maybe with the 45, there's a little bit bigger gap in there. I could fill that in with the filler and then paint it at the end, and it would look fabulous because it would be totally smoothed out. So the filler's a really versatile one to have. Now, number 5, this is the best method to hide the edges of your corrugation, and that is to fold your cardboard. So here, just straight up trying to fold your cardboard doesn't always work very well, but with a thin piece like this, I could probably just fold it along here and get a nice seamless edge right there. But maybe if I wanted to fold it against the fluting of the cardboard, against the grain, then I'd probably need to take my ruler and my knife and then cut, just like when you were doing the edge notch method, cut through the top 2 layers of cardboard, leaving the bottom one intact. From here, I can use that to push the cardboard in, and it doesn't work perfectly, especially with a long one like this, if you take it too fast. So you want to go slow and get that all bent in. Then you have a perfect fold hiding the corrugation. And if you want to make this permanent, just unfold it a ways and put a bunch of glue inside of it. Obviously, this only works on corners. You can't fold something that's straight. But once I have that glue inside, I can fold it again. It all squeezes out where there's been some extra, and I have a seamless edge back here, even more so than any of the other ones. But I have a full video on a bunch of different ways to fold cardboard that you can click on right here, where I go in way more depth, and you can learn a whole bunch of different ways to fold cardboard in different directions. So definitely check that out if you're interested in hiding the corrugation of your cardboard by folding it. And you could also watch this other video. As always, I'm Eli Tennant, this is Maker Brain, and I hope to see you in another video. God bless.